Hi friends, it's your Cosmic Auntie here, and this is a pick a card reading exploring the topic, what are you attracting into your life immediately? So that is what we're going to discuss today, and I have 3 piles, all flipped over, and they each have a crystal. I have started with number 1 over here with the amethyst crystal. This is number 1, pile number 1. What are you attracting into your life immediately? Okay, so tune into your intuition, into your inner knowing. What pile are you drawn to, like immediately? What pile, what crystal are you drawn to? Okay, let yourself relax and flow. So this is group number 2, lapis lazuli. I don't know if I can get a good, there's those gold flecks, it's so beautiful. So this is group number 2, what are you attracting into your life immediately? Okay, group number 2. And then group number 3 with the rose quartz. Soft, beautiful, powerful rose quartz. So this is group number 3. Group number 3, what are you attracting into your life immediately? This is the rose quartz, okay? So take your time, pause the video if you need to, feel into your inner knowing and see what pile you are drawn to, okay? And I will have the timestamps in the description, so just, after you pause the video, choose your pile, go to the timestamps, and you can skip right to the video, right to the timestamp in the video. And yes, I hopefully enjoy your reading. So let's start with pile number 1, okay? So see you later, pile number 3 and pile number 2. Okay, hello, pile number 1. Okay, so we are 254. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the amethyst crystal, this is your reading. What are you attracting into your life immediately? Okay, so again, I'm your Cosmic Auntie, the interstellar storyteller. I always like to remind people, like before we start the reading, to again tune into your inner knowing. You know yourself best, okay? Really pay attention to yourself as you pay attention to these messages, okay? See what resonates, what doesn't. I like to describe my readings as an energetic map, and I speak to the themes in the map, and then you choose the route that suits you best, okay? All right, so let's start with tarot. All right, so let's start here. So we have the Knight of Pentacles as your inner child position, okay? Pile number 1. We have the 10 of Wands in the subconscious energy, the 4 of Wands in the conscious energy, the Strength card in the heart space, 5 of Pentacles in the past, 7 of Pentacles in the present, Queen of Pentacles in the future, 5 of Pentacles in the blockages, 8 of Pentacles in the strengths, and the Page of Swords is the advice. Okay. Very interesting, pile number 1. I sense that you are attracting, what you are attracting immediately is stability, comfort in oneself and in one's environment. There's been some shakeups, I heard. The 5 of Pentacles in the past, these, very well could be changes. These are changes in your environment. Some of you may have had shifts in your job, could be laid off, could have had to move, or like anything that has to do with your environment that is a bit challenging and includes change. So these could be changes to your finances, changes to your home, changes to your livelihood in some way. That's really that's really driven you, pile number one, to focus on what's working and what's not. Okay, there's this opportunity I sense that you've taken to really like shirk some load, like, you know, shirk a load off your back. The subconscious energy of the Ten of Wands is really guiding me, you know, in saying that, because the Ten of Wands, there's things that have come to be, okay? There's cycles that have ended, there's cycles that have closed, and there's an invitation here to kind of go in and assess those things that have come to fruition, and to do what feels healthiest at that time with each and every one of those things. The 10 is a lot, right? It's a bundle. So there's layers to it. And through that, like inventory taking an assessment, it comes back to the Ace of Wands, which is your inner fire, your passion, what you're feeling called to do, what you are interested in, what is piquing, what is inspiring you, all of these things that light up your fire. Okay, so I just saw a burn pile. And it's celebratory, as much as there's been kind of like environmental change. Like maybe some of this has been like a job that hasn't been, you know, serving you for a while, and you finally were able to let go, or there was something that happened where you, yeah, maybe even were laid off or let go of in some way. It changed on you. But there's a celebration here because there's this like observation of what is working and what isn't. Again, the burn pile, releasing, really stepping into your courageous heart. Pile number one, with strength here as in your heart space. Like, these changes in your environment have not been easy. They have not been easy at all. But I just keep coming back to these Seven of Pentacles, which is very, like, I always, like, it just always gives me such observational energy. It's hardworking energy, and it is very keen in what is working in the environment, what's working in the garden, what's growing in the garden, and what's not growing in the garden, what's getting in each, you know, in the way of each other, so they don't have the room to grow. Like, there's like organization here. So there's the Ten of Wands organization, Seven of Wands organization, and the seven being in the present, pile number one, is very much where I sense is a lot of like action and real world like tweaking is going on. And there's again this celebration with the Four of Wands and the conscious energy. There's a freedom here I'm sensing, and perhaps that's something that you are attracting into your life immediately, is like, yeah, a sense of achievements met and milestones met, and celebrations in those regard, and really kind of growing out of a difficult place, out of a place of change, letting go, releasing a lot that is no longer needed going forward. Yeah, you have the Eight of Pentacles in your strengths too. You are dedicated at working hard at what this is, and I sense that it's just like it's not just like it's like a fundamental feeling. I sense what this energy is sharing about what you're attracting into your life immediately is like a life really driven by joy, and a stressful, heavy situations, as well as all wrapped up in lots of successful completions as well. It's very layered with your energy, pile number one. The stressful situation has been a catalyst for really like deep, I guess, values, like really observing what is important to you. And with the Four of Wands here at the conscious energy, there's things that you want to celebrate. There's you know, connections that you want to make, milestones that you want to reach and have reached as well. Okay, so like this is really looking at how far you've come, pile number one, and really dedicating yourself to the building of your life to lead, you know, into the, you know, Queen of Pentacles in your future position. The Knight of Pentacles in your inner child is racing towards the Queen of Pentacles as well. I'll show you what that looks like. You know, your inner child's definitely on board with this. Again, a life really driven by joy. Now, through what you have experienced thus far, you know that life isn't always like roses, you know what I mean? It's not always like peaches and cream. It is kind of more like roses. There's like a bloom and then there's a thorn, you know? So there's a lot of growth I sense here in your energy pile number one with the Strength card. It's really like you really know how much you are capable of. Because I sense that you've really like turned things around after, a shakeup in your environment. But very cool. So your inner child is on board to creating a joy-driven life, attracting that in, racing towards it as well. And not only is it just like an energy, it's very much seen in the things that you do in the world and the way that you feel in your body. Pile number one, I sense that there's just what you're attracting into your life immediately is what's that like Beyonce song, a coziness with yourself, and like a real comfort with yourself and feeling comfortable in your environment, and like being very abundant by, you know, this life like really driven by joy. The Page of Swords is your advice, pile number one, and that is all about inviting you to keep like leaning into your curiosity, into your truth, finding ways to express yourself. I sense that there's maybe new ideas and fresh ideas that are coming into your head right now. Spirit is really much like very much saying like lean into those, explore those like ideas, and your inner child with like the Page and the Knight, these are growth, these are action based, these are kind of, this is a very a new adolescent kind of student type energy, you know, like very much curious. So keep being curious about yourself, pile number one, and finding those words to express your truth, express yourself, express your pain, express the things that you want, because I sense you being very diligent and dedicated about the life that you are growing. And that has always been very important, but that has become very important due to these Five of Pentacles in the past. Things kind of shook you up there, and there's a rebuilding here, there's a growth, there's a like just, and it's right under these Four of Wands, which just really shows me that there's so many things that you have accomplished, and then there's so much that you want to bring that sense of confidence and sense of celebration and desire into the commitments that you are, you know, moving towards and wanting to, I heard, be ready for. There's a lot in your heart that has been healed with the Strength card there. There's a lot of like inner beasts that you have, you know, stuck your mouth and your hand into and held it. It's, you know, the things don't scare you as much. There's some things that just don't scare you as much anymore. Right, pile number one, and I'm proud of you for that. Super proud of you for that. There is room for you in any circle you find yourself in, if that is the truth of your curiosity at the time, your heart. There's, with the Five of Wands being in your blockages, I sense that it's important to say that, perhaps, is that there's room for everybody, and nobody can do it just like you. And it's okay to show up and show what you're made out of, okay? And take up some space in a realm that you have interest in, that you've been called towards. And through this shedding and this assessment and this inventory taking, which has made room for that Ace of Wands. Like, the Ace of Wands isn't here, but if the 10 is, it goes back to the 1. So this is all about what is firing you up right now, pile number 1. And I sense that you are attracting into your life immediately what is firing up. And if this resonates with you, you know what that is. And I am picking up that it's just, feeling confident in yourself, really seeing how far you've come so far, celebrating yourself, observing what's growing, what's not, dedicating yourself to the garden that you are creating, which is you, the vessel that is you, the way you show up in the world, the way that you attract abundance, the way that you provide for yourself and others. Okay, there's a wellspring of strength I sense with you, okay, that you have found a whole deeper realm into, this darkness, your shadow, right? And this is essential when you have these awakenings, when you have these shakeups, to start, developing a relationship with shadow maintenance. Okay, those are all the things that kind of, all the stressful things can kind of get stuck, and generational things can get stuck, but there's also gems, there's also generational gifts, there's all these things that are in there as well, the depth of each and every one of us. And so I've sensed that you have reached a new depth in yourself. There's been values that have been revealed that are true to you. That's firing you up. You're attracting into your life immediately those things because you are moving towards them with your inner child leading the way, creating a safer place for yourself within your body, and a safe, comfortable, abundant, successful environment for you to exist in. And it's really, really cool. And again, nobody can do it quite like you. So if you're finding yourself like stepping into a new field, or starting a business, or going to school in a certain program, like, the list is endless, you have a place. Okay, and it's so important to go out there and fight for what you want. Go out there and show up for it, because again, nobody can do it like you. Okay, let's do some oracle. We have self-worth. Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Spirit, for bringing that into focus more, because I sense that pile number 1, self-worth, is something that you have been attracting into your life, and you are doing it right now, and developing a relationship with yourself, and being very observational and curious and grounded with yourself in regards to just how far you've come and where you are now, celebrating the moment and letting that guide you moving forward to what you are wanting to bring more of into your life, which is more like, it is just, yeah, I guess, self-worth, feeling comfortable in your body, feeling comfortable in your environment, and feeling comfortable in the things that you do for your livelihood, seeing yourself reflected in your environment and vice versa. So self-worth, definitely, and your truth, expressing your truth and recalling your power back to you and using it to propel you forward in the life that you're creating for yourself. Beautiful. Okay, what we got here? We have Spirit of the East. So this is beautiful air energy. Again, I feel like very much goes with the Page of Swords. There's this recalling of your truth, your voice, pile number one, and I sense that you are attracting that into your life immediately by exploring yourself, your perspective, your memories of these situations, and again, going deeper into your depth and addressing certain things with the Strength card that have been hurting your heart, addressing them and taking the power away from them, finding ways to express them. And there's also this like notion of creating more air for you to breathe. Again, with the Ten of Wands, there's things that need to be cleared out. There's things that have come to be, and you know, need assessment, need inventory, need organization, pile number one. And again, that goes back to the one that brings out, you know, that one big flame. There's a lot of sticks thrown in the bonfire here, the Ten of Wands, and that turns into one big flame. So what is lighting you up right now? How can you start putting like a plan together, or how can you, you know, tweak the plan, or maybe revisit the plan if you haven't for a while, like things that you have literally like typed out, written out, drawn out, you know, thought out the plan. Okay, so one of like, I forget, it was somewhere, it was a tarot reader that I absolutely love. Opal Oracle. At one point in one of the readings, she said, the difference between a goal and a dream is a plan. And that like really stuck with me, and I sense that energy here. Okay, there's like dreams being put into plan formation with the Page of Swords. Spirit is really encouraging you to get focused on what that looks like, getting, you know, articulated about what you're observing and all of that. So Spirit of the East is all about air energy, calling your truth back to you and formulating it into an articulation to share with yourself and with others, to become clear on what you know what you're wanting to do moving forward. Like, get your ideas down on paper, pile number one. Okay, so if there's certain things that you're attracting into your life immediately, it revolves around self-worth, things that you want, things that you, everything. It's beautiful. So yeah, get pen to paper, get that typing, even speak it out loud to you if you can, speak it out loud to yourself, and start like, yeah, putting those dreams into goal, plan formation, and really seeing those steps towards those goals, because it is coming to you. Okay, it's coming to you, Star Child. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Okay, the light of the stars exists in you. The earth wants you to share that light with humanity. You are asked to understand that you are meant to be here, that you have spiritual work to accomplish. Give up the idea that you belong somewhere else, to another home in the stars. Instead, let the starlight of your inner being shine here on earth, where it shall make such a positive difference in the world. Fall in love with Earth's beauty. She can and will support you in all ways. Okay, pile number one, star seeds. The earth, the groundedness here, I sense that, okay, I understand now. There's a connection with earth that you're grounding here. There's been that a realization, and I know that it's very hard to miss home, you know, and to feel like lost here in this experience here on earth, right? But you're here, and it's so important that you remain here because you're meant to be here. And there's very like needed things like to show up into the world in ways that are uniquely you. You have magic to share. You have gifts to share. And yeah, so like, let's read some of these things again. The earth wants you to share that light with humanity. You are asked to understand that you are meant to be here, that you have spiritual work to accomplish. I sense that pile number one, it becoming a lot more clear of what your gifts are, that spiritual work that you've always known, but I sense there's very real world, like routines and steps and diligence that you're doing, pile number one, to really bring this into the world. Okay, and it's super, super beautiful, and it's leading you into greater success and stability and self-worth. There's this whole awareness of your power, your strength, your gifts, your courage, your diligence, and to remind you as your cosmic auntie, like a star sibling, that we need you to show up as you. Give up the idea that you belong somewhere else, to another home in the stars. Instead, let the starlight of your inner being shine here on earth, where it shall make such a positive difference in the world. Fall in love with Earth's beauty. She can and will support you in all ways. And, there's a balance, right? Just, sending out your love to the cosmos and knowing who you are and finding your footing and your grounding here on earth. There's probably so many times, like, that maybe even some of you have been experiencing, places, lives on earth here, and recalling a lot of that magic, and again, lifetimes of gifts, and again, real world, earthy ways of bringing them about and feeling more secure and within yourself and connected to the earth, and feeling that purpose-driven life and radiating your starlight and your magic in ways that feel comfortable to you and draw abundance towards you, because it's just flowing through you. Okay, this is the beauty of a starseed experience. We're all star-seeded souls, and we are spiritual beings having an earthly experience, and we all need each other here right now to be in our hearts and to tune into the power of our mind, to know that we are life experiencing itself, and how amazing it is to be able to be here on earth and be able to like touch energy. Okay, I know that sometimes it can be so heavy at times, the earth experience, the human experience. It really can. And I sense you, pile number one, are finding ways to work with that heaviness, know what's yours, what's not, to feel the weight of the collective, but also the joy and the beauty of the collective, and finding your strength and all of that, and knowing that you can house it and find these boundaries and know what's yours, what's not, and really dedicate yourself to the path and the garden, the path that you are creating and the garden that you are cultivating. Okay, so there's so much earth energy here. I love this. Okay, I love that so much. I hope that this was helpful in some way, pile number one. Keep doing what you're doing. You are attracting self-worth into your life immediately, because you have been learning to fall in love with who you are by not only recognizing that you are a child of the stars, a star child, but that you're here and now for a reason, and finding those reasons out, and building really strong foundations to show up as you and shine your starlight out into the world, and feeling yourself seen in your environment, and all of this beautiful stuff leading to a life of abundance and security, blessings, wealth. It's all of this beautiful stuff by stepping into your authenticity. Remember to keep stepping into you, showing up as you. You're awesome. Okay, I love you. Let's move on to pile number two. Okay. All right, so pile number 2 with the lapis lazuli. We're at 3047. Lapis lazuli, pile number 2. What are you attracting into your life immediately? Okay, if you picked the lapis lazuli, this is your reading. So let's start with tarot. Yeah, let's start with tarot. And as I begin, I encourage you to tap into your inner knowing. You know yourself best, okay? As you pay attention to these messages, always check in with your intuition to see what resonates, what doesn't. Tarot is never supposed to tell you something you don't already know, okay? So let's begin. Pile number 2, what are you attracting into your life immediately? So we have the Chariot in the inner child, the Lovers in the subconscious, the Six of Swords in the conscious position, the Four of Cups in the heart, the Seven of Cups in the past, the Sun of Wands, and the Knight of Wands in this deck in the present, the Wheel of Fortune in the future, the Ten of Swords in your blockages, the Two of Cups in your strengths, and the Father of Swords as your advice. Wow. I'm sorry if this fan is loud. It's very hot where I am now. So I hope you can hear me. But pile number 2, I sense that some of you are attracting new love relationships into your life immediately. Some of you are moving on from relationships, that have gone through some sort of, relationship breakdown. Some of you are falling in love. Some of you are navigating a breakup, perhaps, and others of you are ready for a new relationship and ready to move on. There's things I sense in pile number 2, okay, that have hurt. Like there's pain, but it's off to the side. So again, maybe some of you in this pile have really maybe some of you have been able to, as you navigate a relationship breakdown, start to kind of put the pain in the past. Others of you are maybe not ready to face it yet. I'm getting that from the Ten of Swords in your blockages. Others of you may be seeing certain triggers and things come up in your relationships. These could be things that you are experiencing in your relationship with that come to a blockage when the tether, when you follow it, goes back to a sword that's been put in your back somehow. So again, there could be many different narratives within this group. It's very interesting. I'd really sense that wherever you fall in this, that there's a new beginning. And yeah, there's a new beginning. There's such a level of connection with yourself and connection with others. I sense with you, pile number 2, that something that you could be attracting into your life immediately is a new, like an expansion of your passion, a depth to your passion, ready for more. There's a desire to really move away from things that confuse you in the matter of love. Okay, so if there are people out there in this pile that have, are experiencing a relationship breakdown, and it involved, painful things, confusing things, there's a desire to move on and start fresh. There's such I just keep seeing this like really far view. I'm standing up kind of on a cliff and I'm able to see very far, and I'm high up. That's why I see this expanse, pile number 2. So that's something that you could be attracting into your life immediately, is this room, this expanse, this view, this freshness, this, a new beginning. And then some of you may be starting a new beginning with someone that you have been really like healing for, be really tuning into yourself and really becoming clear on what you want, where your passions lie, like the things that you bring into a relationship, the things that you are looking for in a relationship, people that, like these are people that you have been healing for. I'm just gonna say that. And so you've started to meet and have, maybe even some of you have started to develop the relationship. The 2 of Cups is in your strength, so there's love here. There's so much of this anchored in love. And there's also the Lovers here in the subconscious. So some of you maybe, again, very much falling in love, and see a very like bright future with this person. And there's a lot of like motion and growth potential here. The inner child is very wild and fierce and free feeling with the Chariot. Yeah, super interesting. I sense a lot of you are like breaking relationship cycles, and maybe on lots of different, there may be a spectrum with where you find yourself on that timeline, but I really feel that is something you're attracting into your life immediately. You're working on, you're doing, you're observing. There's just like things that I sense in this energy you're not wanting anymore. You don't want to be confused or guessing. There's pain that has happened, that is, I sense, really informed you in what you really want, who you truly are, what you truly deserve, and has really fueled this conscious energy of moving on. With the 6 of Swords in your conscious energy, this is literally the card of moving on. Some of you may have moved literally. Maybe some of you are attracting a move immediately into your life. Maybe some of you are preparing for a move. Maybe some of you are really ready to move. Maybe some of you are really ready to travel. There's somewhere you've always wanted to go. And then there's others of you in this pile that like there's just a mental moving on. And that, I sense, lands on any of those scenarios. The 6 of Swords is literally mentally moving on from a challenging place. And there's this like beautiful rainbow on top of this like depth where all of these swords are floating to the bottom. the card that comes before that is the Battle card. So wherever you are in this, there's things in your relationship past that have really informed you about your relationship present, and some of you are forming relationships, some of you are feeling ready for new relationships, and some of you are healing from recent breakdowns. And there's a freedom, there's a focus, there's a drive, there's an adventure, there's a bright future, with, you know, more passion and momentum. There's this advice here to, with the Father of Swords, to keep breaking these cycles. That's what I sense with with the advice from Spirit. The Father of Swords is the cycle breaker. They're the cycle breaker king. They are going to they're going to stick the sword into the wheel and stop it where it needs to stop. Okay, so there's a keen focus of a powerful mind here, and so keep breaking those cycles, because I sense you're attracting into your life immediately like healthier dynamics, healthier love, and a deeper connection with yourself, a deeper connection with like love in general, things that you love to do, ways that you show your love, the ways that you receive your love, the way that you feel love, all of these things. That is something in your subconscious energy that I sense, pile number 2, you are becoming very real about. You're becoming very aware of yourself, and your alchemy, and it's guiding you to a new place where I sense, you know, is going to provide the Wheel of Fortune in your future, the energy that you're seeking, because it's seeking you, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. And for those of you who are finding some of their past pain coming up in relationships, being aware of that is a superpower, right? Our awareness is our superpower. So these are things that, as you bring more awareness to, the more knowledge you have, the less power they have, and the more you'll be able to recognize them like bubbling up, you know. And it takes that process in many ways, and diligence, because they just do. That's how we learn, and then with practice. And life is kind of relationship making with the unfolding of it all, like, kind of thing, right? And doing maintenance on the things that have happened, because you don't have to bring everything with you all the time. And I sense a deep amount of shadow work from this pile. Like, you really looked into yourself, and you've really you are aware of what has harmed you, what has been painful in the past, and have really and are accessing and connecting to your personal power, your personal flame. What I love is, like, this Knight of the Sun of Wands is looking right towards that Wheel of Fortune in your future position. Oh baby, and the Chariot here is just, I just felt like literally the wind through my hair, and it just feels so exciting. I sense you're attracting to your life immediately, like, yeah, a fresh start, and a new place, mentally, spiritually, and physically, emotionally. It's all here. It's all here. All right, let's do some Oracle and see what's coming up. Ivy. So this card is all about, you know, taking up that space, and that and growing in ways that you want to grow in, and knowing that there's an environment to surround you, and reaching for that environment. Ivy does its thing. Ivy is so resilient as well. keep breaking those cycles, bringing your awareness to those things that are getting in your way, and growing and reaching and connecting with your environment in ways where you can expand into your naturalness. Right, pile number 2? Okay, so let's see. And wisdom with the dragons. Oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful card. There's so much wisdom that I sense for sure in this group. There's so much deep diving that you've done, pile number 2, to understand and understand yourself better and more through pain and confusion, finding your truth and your clarity. And that is bringing into focus what is important to you, and you're calling your power back in the moment and beaming it into the potential of the future, seeing this whole fresh new beginning, and literally following the wisdom that you are discovering from the depths of within, that you are so guided by love. Like, I feel like source love just flows through you, and there's tunnels and caverns and pathways that you're clearing within your soul and your psyche, and to allow for that to flow more and lead you into places that you are finding yourself like yearning for, and following your wisdom to do it. Okay. Oh my goodness, we have karmic clearing for your Lightworker Oracle. So this is the last card we're going to talk about, pile number 2. So karmic clearing. Wow. This is a card all about, well, let's just read it and then we'll discuss it. You are fast outgrowing a level of consciousness to which are attached particular wounds, issues, and struggles. As you outgrow that consciousness, these issues will release their grip on you. Yes, pile number 2. You are receiving divine notice that karmic clearing is taking place through a combination of your own efforts and spiritual grace from the heart of the divine. It is time for an old wound to be released once and for all. Yes. Karmic clearing is something you are attracting into your life immediately. And I think that's a beautiful place to end this very lovely reading. Karmic clearing. It's time for an old wound to be released once and for all. Keep breaking those cycles, pile number 2. Freeing yourself, creating more room for you to expand, to grow into your naturalness. I like that. And best of luck with everything, okay? You are doing awesome, and I love you. All right. On to pile number 3. All right, hi pile number 3. So if you chose the rose quartz, okay, 49, 47. If you chose the rose quartz, this is your reading, pile number 3. What are you attracting into your life immediately? Pile number 3. Okay, let's start with tarot. All right, pile number 3. I'm so happy you're here. And before we begin, I just want to say that tarot's never supposed to tell you something you don't already know. When a message resonates, you'll just know. Don't make anything fit. You know yourself best, okay? Please never give your power away. You are the expert of you. So really tune into where you're feeling messages resonate and where they're not. And yeah, okay, I like to describe my readings as an energetic map. I speak to the themes in the map. You choose the route that suits you best, okay? All right, let's jump in. What are you attracting into your life immediately, pile number 3? Okay, so we have the Emperor in your inner child position. We have the King of Cups, wow, in your subconscious energy. Queen of Cups in your conscious energy. Holy, I love that. Seven of Swords in your heart position. We have the Justice card in the past position. Knight of Pentacles in the present. We have Nine of Swords in the future. Three of Cups in the blockages. The Knight of Cups in your strengths. And the Knight of Swords as your advice. Okay. All right, pile number 3. I sense with this energy, I just heard that you're taking your thoughts back. It's like there's a sense here, pile number 3, where you're kind of energetically removing yourself from other people, certain people's psyches, as that is necessary. So something that you may be finding yourself calling into your life immediately is your own perspective, your own thoughts, your mind, your energy, your truth. Okay, it's so interesting because I just saw, like, it seemed fuzzy, like a memory, and this like kind of sparkly energy flowing from it, but like the shape remains. So there's things that I sense you may be becoming, you're just taking, there's certain things you're taking back. Very interesting. And I feel like it's important to say, pile number 3, that it's not always going to be stressful, okay? It's not always going to be hard. I can sense that there's a worry about that because of the act of taking kind of back what's yours in a way. I feel like it's so interesting. The Seven of Swords says so many different things depending on the cards around it. These are places that were like challenging, toxic, okay? These are places where you may have been manipulated, and those are the places I sense you taking your sparkly energy back. You're taking there's a clarity of the memory of that you're bringing back to yourself, and it's bringing up a lot. I can sense that there's a lot that's being brought up, and there's a lot that I sense you becoming emotionally aware of. Honestly, I sense you are attracting answers into your life immediately. I sense that there's answers that you're giving yourself. There's a way that I sense you even leaning into the stress and the anxiety of it to reveal the places in which you need to go and call your energy back in the heart, okay? The heart space has a cerebral air energy in it. And so there's places that are affecting the heart where you may have been manipulated, where you may have been tricked, where you may have suffered in any way or been confused or manipulated. And you're going back into the mind to address those things and becoming clear on them, taking back your energy. I've said that not to be redundant, but it's just really something I sense with this group. I feel you are coming into your own again, really, really, really like stepping into your power and tapping into your inner child is the Emperor. That's where I'm getting this. Your inner child is the Emperor. Really creating a strong place within yourself. As you do this work, as you call your energy back to you, as you remember the truth of the matter for you, as you discover your perspective, as you call your voice back to you, okay? You're calling your voice back to you, pile number 3. Some of you may have gone through a divorce. Some of you may be going through a divorce. Some of you may be going through like anything, you know, kind of that has to do with the legal system, with a significant other. That could very well be something you may be experiencing. Others of you, there's a balancing I sense from the past in regards to your emotions and your emotional awareness of whatever situation this is, that whatever situations that is consistently causing some stress. There's a vibe of like this could also play out in your group of friends, in your community. This could be with a certain friend. With the Justice card in the past, there's like a fairness here, and I sense that it's like you again, becoming clear on like what's not right and how you feel about it. There's such a depth to your emotions I sense right now that you could very well be like a very water dominant person if you're drawn to this, with the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. There's a depth. The King of Cups is still waters run deep. The Queen of Cups is this like inner understanding of yourself, your inner workings, how you show up for yourself, nurture yourself, how you feel. They both look very serious and tired. So again, these may be relationships that have been stressful in any way, and they have taught you about how you feel. Like they look like, here, I'll show them to you. They look very serious. They look a little tired. So I can tell, pile number 3, you've been through a lot. You've gone through a lot. You definitely know how you feel. You know, I think you really know the power of your love and are very much dedicated to addressing the stress and freeing yourself by calling your voice back to you, and literally following your heart. These two are looking directly at each other. So this is your advice card, the Knight of Swords. So your heart is leading you back, connecting to your mind. The Knight and the Knight. There's a lot of like action I sense from this energy. So you may be attracting into your life immediately, like action. You're following your heart to the things that you need to say and to express. Spirit is very much, you know, encouraging you with the Knight of Swords to keep expressing yourself, keep, you know, asserting yourself when needed, you know, stating your boundaries, trusting your perspective, being curious about the information, and then like charging forward in the best way that sees fit when it comes to what your heart is saying. It's very interesting stuff. So there's, again, some of you have gone through or are going through a divorce, a legal system situation, rebalancing in your relationships. You know, also like some of you are also experiencing a rebalancing in your friendships, your groups, your communities. That is providing more room for you to really pursue the things that are getting in your way, that are stressing you, keeping you up at night, and developing, by developing a good, strong foundation within yourself with your inner child. it's very interesting, powerful energy, pile number 3. I keep coming back to that memory. Like, some of you, like, I really sense like you're like wherever it resonates, whether it be a romantic relationship, a friendship, group dynamics, anything like that. I sense that you're plucking yourself out of their psyches after, you know, the things that have occurred. And there's now, like, there's this shift, there's this justice, there's this fairness, there's this balance that has been achieved, that has given you, I sense, more space. And I sense that's something you've been attracting into your life immediately, been working hard on creating that space to create, you know, to it's like almost a soft space to land for yourself as you navigate your challenging thoughts, your anxiety, and calling your voice back to you, your truth, not letting anyone trick you or thwart you or anything like that. Okay, the truth of the matter is your heart is leading the way. Your mind is learning how to articulate your heart. You're remembering things in the way that they are true. Okay, and that is guiding you to plucking yourself out of these people's like psyches and that you don't have any business being in there anyway. You know, I sense you have you know, strong but healthy boundaries now. And there's such a notion, pile number 3, of how to protect your beautiful heart, how to protect your love. It's really beautiful. This whole like process too has really brought you closer to your intuition, your inner voice. I sense that you trust your intuition more, your inner voice. And have a really, like, have reached a deeper like realm with your relationship with spirit, with life, with God, you know, and really knowing that your heart is the telephone line to the divine. And that has been a lifeline, wow, there's so many rhymes, a lifeline as you experience a dark night of the soul and do the things that are necessary to bring your light back to you, and remember things in the way that is true, and not let anyone take your truth away from you. That's where the psyche plucking is coming out of. And no matter what has changed to your like groups and your friends and stuff, like, I sense that you know that it's important to keep your distance and keep gently distancing yourself. But the Knight of Pentacles, this is not energy that is always like brash or fast or anything, but it is persistent, it is diligent, it is determined. And I sense you determined to address that what ails you. And it's connected to the heart space and providing yourself the answers that you need in regards to situations where you have felt your truth has been taken away from you. And that is what you're calling into your life immediately. So let's do some oracle. Decision. I sense that you've like made some decisions. That has been the justice. That has been the balancing. That has been the that motion that in the past, that justice has been your decision. I feel like pile number 3, the justice is that you have made a decision for your well-being to move further away from that what ails you. Really become clear on your feelings, call your voice back to you. And making these decisions are difficult because that may have led you into a situation where you have either asked for a divorce, or you are experiencing a divorce in some way, or a relationship breakdown. Some of you have made decisions in regards to the dynamics in your friend groups or your friendships or your work groups that were not conducive to your well-being, that were manipulative. These are all toxic, situations. So in a general sense, pile number 3, wherever this lies for you, if this resonates, there has been decisions that you have made in regards to toxic situations in your life, and the decision has been to call your voice back to you, pluck yourself from other people's psyches, to call your power back, and slowly and diligently work towards that which triggers you, keeps you up at night, stresses you out. And as you go through those things, the only way through is through. And as you navigate those things, you become stronger in yourself, become more aware of yourself, and you create that empire within yourself, reminding yourself you are sovereign, you are your own person, and you have your own voice. And those that I sense are the decisions that you've made, and they've come with hard decisions, but it's also been necessary and cathartic to the places where you are now following your heart, and you are expressing your truth, and you have this spiritual depth that has always been there, but I just saw like a ladle, there's an access to it. Okay, let's do this. Prayer. I love that. With the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups, there's definitely like it goes back to that, the heart is the telephone line to the divine. And so however you pray, I sense that there's a depth and a deeper relationship with how you pray. And so much of this, I sense, has been like a prayer. It's been a prayer seed. It started that way, wanting to call your energy back to you. Like, there's been situations here. These are where the decisions came from, to move away from these toxic dynamics. And it was all started with prayer, like a call from the darkness. Like, that you wanted more, you deserve more, there's better. And that is what you're attracting into your life immediately, because that is what you're working on, that is what you're becoming more clear on, that is what you're healing, and you are becoming so much more spiritually strong. Okay? I love to see it, pile number 3. Okay, hold your center. Yes. Hold your center as you navigate these things. You calling your power back to you, it's gonna shake things up a bit. It's gonna and people may try to use those tactics to try to trick you and bring you back into that kind of fold, that kind of thing. No, you know too much now about who you are, about what went on, what your truth is, and have clarity of articulation in regards to it, and you're following your heart, and your heart is informing the mind, and you're healing. So hold your center. Let's see what that has to say, and that'll be the last card that we discussed today. Hold your center. Have you been rushing out to meet others, trying to bend or accommodate their needs at the expense of your own well-being and your inner peace? Now you are to strengthen your own energy, your own boundaries, to find your ground, Firmly place your feet there and do not move. Feel your feet anchoring you like a beautiful tree. Let yourself experience quiet certainty as you hold your center with commitment, courage, and consciousness. Yes. Wow, what a beautiful way to summarize this energy. Thank you, Spirit. So regardless of where you find yourself, what you're, if this energy resonates with you, fill in your personal details. But pile number 3, I sense that you've come to decisions in regards to toxic dynamics to move away from them, or to move away from them, persistently, diligently, and healthily. There's this groundedness within Knight of Pentacles right at the center of the reading. It said that right in here. Now you are to strengthen your own energy, your own boundaries, to find your ground. Firmly place your feet there and do not move. Feel your feet anchoring you like a beautiful tree. Let yourself experience quiet certainty as you hold your center with commitment, courage, and consciousness. So yes, you and your inner child are hand in hand right now. Keep holding your center, connecting to the strength of prayer, whatever that means to you and however you practice prayer. Trust your decisions. Trust your instincts, okay? There's something that it says that in here. You are learning to trust in your own instincts, to take your own journey without comparison to the life path of another. There is no need to become disheartened or distracted by comparisons or judgments. The earth needs your light, which can only come from you. You will offer so much less if you try to match your beauty to what you perceive to be the beauty of another. So yes, plucking yourself from the psyches of others to really call your energy back to you, to feel your authenticity, to be curious about who you are, and allowing them to be who they are too, and holding your boundaries so that no kind of like attachment can be made where you're feeling thwarted and you're feeling confused, right? Wow. Hold your center. I'm going to go back to that and then we'll finish up for today. So yeah, I sense that a lot of you have been healing people-pleasing tendencies, different codependent tendencies, by stepping into your own power more, making challenging decisions for your well-being, holding your center as life rebalances itself around you, and have quiet and certainty. Face these things, right, with commitment, courage, and consciousness, because there is better, there is more, and not every relationship is going to be like this. And by choosing no, you are saying yes to the things that you're discovering are of value to you. And also that includes your energy. I sense that you're closer to your own energy and realize that you are to be cherished more, and that starts with you cherishing you and protecting you, and by proxy that attracts the people who are doing that themselves and respect you as an individual and want to walk on along a similar direction and support you and encourage you and all of these things. But right now I sense you really taking your energy back, your power back. It has started with the depth of prayer, the call out from the darkness, and making these decisions to rebalance the energy in your life. Yeah. The earth needs your light, which can only come from you. You will offer so much less if you try to make it match your beauty to what you perceive to be the beauty of another. And don't let anyone else do that with you either, compare you and all of that stuff. Oh, pile number 3, what a beautiful reading. And I sense that what you're attracting into your life immediately is your sense of self, your perspective, your truth, your power, and have been quietly and diligently and persistently working on that, facing your fears and dipping into your truth, following your heart, trusting your instincts, and making decisions that ultimately are rebalancing your life for the better. And I love you, okay? Your cosmic auntie loves you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for participating in my pick a card reading. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked these readings, and so you can see more and I can hang out with you more, because I love this. I love what I do. So bless you, and I'll see you soon.